Hey guys, it's Happy Conscious Gal here. So as you guys know, my LIW was 65 kilograms, and after my big night staying up till 3 in the morning baking on Thursday night, I woke up on the morning of my birthday, which was the Friday, the day before the party. I woke up and I was 66 kilograms, so that's a 1 kilo increase, which I think is 2.1 pounds above my LIW. At that point I was like, oh my god, I haven't even had the party yet. The party's tomorrow and I'm already 2.1 pounds above my LIW. What am I going to do? And there's no way I was going to do a correction day on my birthday. And I figured that it was mostly because I'd gone to bed at 3 and I hadn't had much sleep, but I had also been snacking a lot on all those low-carb cookies and things while I was making them. I ate way too much. So, you know, that was the price I paid. But I wasn't going to do a correction day on my birthday, so I thought I'll just eat normal P3 foods and I'll ride it out, and hopefully the damage won't be too much tomorrow at the party, and if I have to do a correction day after that, I will. What can I do? So then, the morning of the party, which was the Saturday, got my little sheet that I use. I was down a tiny bit. I was down to 65.8 kilograms, but I was still a fair bit, probably about 2 pounds above my LIW still. So then I had the party that night. As I said, I ate pretty well during the day. I ate very well during the day, and then before the party I had a big piece of fish and some asparagus, so my blood sugar was very regulated. The first couple of hours of the party I didn't eat that much. But after probably about 10 p.m. I did snack, you know, every now and then. I'd have a few nuts, or I'd have a little bit of cheese, or I'd have some olives, or I'd have a tiny bite of one of my low-carb things, because, you know, everyone around me was eating, and I was feeling a little bit like, well, I want to be able to participate in this party. I wasn't actually really hungry. If I'd been following the hunger scale, I probably would have hardly eaten anything the whole night, because the fish would have kept me going for a few hours, and then I might have just had a few nuts, and that would have kept me going. But I wasn't using the hunger scale. It was my birthday. It was a party, you know. I was just grazing, but at least I was grazing on low-carb stuff. But, you know, the grazing went on until 5 in the morning because I was up all night. So I ended up taking in way too many calories, and I knew I had been, but given what I could have done if I had actually eaten the food everyone else was eating, all the dishes, the rice dishes, the pasta dishes, the cakes, the lollies, the chocolates, the chips, you know, the fattening stuff that was everywhere and the carby stuff that was everywhere. I mean, I would have woken up probably 5 or 6 pounds above my LIW. So, you know, snacking on a bit of nuts, a bit of low-carb stuff, a bit of olives, a bit of cheese. It was the best of two evils, really. But I woke up the following morning having had hardly any sleep. You know, my stomach was hurting from all the dairy, because I don't normally eat much dairy, and I'd eaten cheese. I'd eaten so much cheese. Oh my God, I ate so much cheese. I woke up the next morning and I was 66.7 kilograms, which is, you know, something like 3.7 pounds above my LIW. So at that point I was like, shit. And I was feeling really sick that morning. I didn't really want to eat anything. I was exhausted. My tummy was hurting from all the cheese. I thought, I just want to eat raw vegetable juices all day, or green apples all day, or something to alkaline my system after all that dairy food and all that fat. And I just felt like I just wanted to do it. But obviously I'm on phase 3. I can't do that. That would be too much carbohydrates. So I was like, bugger. Well, I guess the next best thing is to just do a correction day and just eat plain eggs all day. I don't eat meat, so I couldn't do a steak day. So I did an egg day on Sunday after the party. And egg days where you just eat plain eggs all day. You don't really have much else with them, no vegetables or anything. So I had a couple of boiled eggs in the morning. I managed to get them down even though I was feeling sick and exhausted. I scrambled up some egg whites for lunch, 4 or 5 egg whites for lunch. And then I had a couple of boiled eggs again for dinner. And then in the late evening I did something which I realize now was a strategic error. I decided I was sick of eating boiled eggs and scrambled eggs, and I felt like some sort of sweet thing. So I looked up a recipe online for making meringues just out of plain egg whites and some xylitol, which is a sugar-free natural sweetener. And I made them, and they were really yummy, but they required like 3/4 of a cup of xylitol. And I've never really used xylitol before other than a tiny little bit in my low-carb cookies. And I've certainly never eaten that much of it in such a high concentration. And I don't think it agreed with me, because from about 5 in the morning onwards, I was on the toilet. Diarrhea. sick as a dog, and I was sick the whole of yesterday. So that egg day turned out to be a bit of a disaster, even though I love eggs and they're always really soothing for my tummy. Making the meringues with xylitol was a bad idea. Shouldn't have done that. But anyway, at least after the correction day, yesterday morning, I woke up and I was down to 65.7, so I was a kilogram down, which is 2.1 pounds down. So I was back to being not too far away from my LIW. Yesterday, I did have a very bad stomachache. After the diarrhea, I was not in a good state, so I drank lots of water with electrolytes in it. I had some vegetable broth, and I put some protein powder in it, so I'd get my electrolytes up, I'd get some protein in. I just kept drinking vegetable broth and protein powder during the day. I managed to eat some more eggs later in the day, and by the evening, my tummy was better. I managed to eat some fish, and I even had, a few nuts in the evening, so... By the time I went to sleep last night, I was back to normal. I woke up this morning, my weight's down to 65.3, which is very close to my LIW, only about 0.7 of a pound above that now, so that's within a healthy range. So I feel very relieved that the big roller coaster ride seems to be over. I know that if I just eat clean, healthy P3 foods over the next few days, I'll probably end up smack bang on my LIW again within a couple of days, maybe even under it, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy that I didn't pay too big a price for the massive night of eating huge amounts of cheese and for the big bake-a-thon night where I ate tons and tons and tons of food while I was cooking. But, honestly, given the damage that I could have done in the lead up to my party on the day of my birthday and at the party itself, given how much I normally would have eaten and gorged on, how much sugar, how much carbs, I could have been 10 or 20 pounds up by now, so, the whole thing's miraculous. I feel very relieved that the roller coaster ride is over and I'm back on track again, but I wanted to share the whole journey with you to show that, all of us hit road bumps and speed bumps. All of us have challenges on this diet. And the thing is, when you have those challenges, when you feel that temptation, when you feel the urge to cheat, when you feel yourself panicking, what am I going to eat at this function? How am I going to get through it without gorging? Is when you know that there are some emotional patterns there that you're getting a chance to look at. All that anxiety that I suffered in the lead up to the party and making me bake all this food and fill my food with extra special low carb stuff so I wouldn't have to be worried at my party. All that anxiety came from a history of having done emotional eating during my parties. When I looked underneath that, I saw that all that emotional eating at my parties had come from a fear of being alone. And I've had to deal with that. So anytime you get the urge to cheat or an anxiety coming up around food, that's showing you that there's an emotional issue there that's driving your compulsion to eat. And it gives you a chance to look at it. It gives you a chance to do any work you need to do to clear it. And I feel very grateful that I've had the chance to see that and that I've seen how far I've come on it, that it's not triggering me anymore, that I've done enough work on my emotions that it's not there anymore. There's plenty of kinds of work you can do to clear emotions. You can do EFT, you can go and see a counselor, you can go to a personal growth course, you can read books on clearing your emotions, you can go and see a one-on-one specialist. There's many, many things you can do. But the bottom line is you can't do anything until you know you have an emotional trigger. So just trust me that when you feel that kind of anxiety, you know there's something under it, and it gives you a chance to look at it. So anyway, I just want to share that whole story with you. It's been a huge drama-rama of a week. Definitely the hardest week I've had since starting HCG. Definitely was very stressful. Definitely was exhausting. Definitely required me to do a correction day. But I'm back on track now, so I'll let you know what happens over the next week. Now I'm back with normal life again. No more crazy temptations coming up. And I look forward to reading all of your comments, and I hope you're all going really, really well with your own journeys, and I'll let you know what happens over the next few days. Until then, have a beautiful week. See you guys.